Welcome to a Canto Roboflow introduction movie. The purpose of this movie is to explain what the potential is of Roboflow. There are many other training movies that you can find on YouTube to get a more detailed idea or a more individual look of what is possible with Canto Roboflow. This training movie is just the starting point. Canto Roboflow is a little bit similar to the Scheduler Manager in that way that the Scheduler Manager offers you a basic set of functionalities like getting notified by email when something happens in your catalog, getting an email report, performing some actions, applying triggers, etc., etc. All these functionalities are very useful, but often customers need a little bit more. They want to be able to perform an automatic export, but for instance, the target file name needs to be have some special naming convention, or it needs to be put in a related subfolder structure, or etc., etc. So when the basic functionalities of the Scheduler Manager are not enough, then Roboflow can come in and offer you full control over your automation on the back end. Roboflow runs as a service on the Cumulus server or any server in your network, and you can even have multiple instances of Roboflow running to do load balancing. The basic idea is that you have a starting point of a workflow, and this workflow is executed on a time interval. So you can have your workflows run on demand, or every 5 minutes, or twice a day, or on the first day of the month, or any of these schedules can be configured. The starting point is either Roboflow looking into a folder, what we call a hot folder or a drop folder, where files are delivered, dropped, and then Roboflow is processing those files. Processing means that it can copy the file to another location, it can catalog it, if it's a text-based file, maybe XML or tab limited, it can read the file, its metadata, and do something with it. So hot folder starting point. It can also be watching a catalog, so the starting point could be what we call a hot collection. A hot collection is something that processes a list of records based on a query or triggered. So that's what another starting point could be. I want to find all the records where the status field is set to approved, or I want to process every new record, or I want to process every updated record. Another type of workflow is that you want to process a list of categories. For instance, for each new category that is created in the catalog, you want to create a corresponding folder on a network. Or for each category that is being deleted, you want to delete the corresponding folder on the network. Or if a status field is set in a category, you want to process the records of that category, etc., etc. Then the very commonly used workflow is what we call a watch folder. Imagine that you have files in a certain folder structure where people are working in, but you want these files be represented in a catalog. You want to keep them where they are, but also being able to access them through Cumulus, seeing them in the same folder structure, or in Cumulus then category structure. Well, then you have what we call a watch folder workflow, which synchronizes the files and monitors them, and will catalog and update any changes into a Cumulus catalog. You can also work with an FTP site. You can monitor a hot folder or watch folder type of folder and upload or download files from and to an FTP site. You can also perform queries on an SQL database and process the results. For instance, if you are processing, looking into your internal product database, you could say, give me any record changed since, and those records might contain information that you want to pull into your Cumulus records. So then you could perform a search in your Cumulus catalog to find the corresponding records for these SQL records that were found. So as you can see, you have 6 starting points of your workflow, and that gives you the possibility then to add functionality. If we have a look at such a workflow, inside the workflow you can set the interval. As I said, you can set that it runs on a time interval, or you can set it that it runs at a certain moment in time, a certain day of the month, week of the month, or several days of the month, etc., etc. So many possibilities. And then each workflow will have its basic set of parameters. If it's a workflow that works with Cumulus catalog, you will have to specify the catalog, the query. A very strong feature also of Roboflow is that it can email information to a user. You can have individual emails sent to you about things that happen, but individual emails can be quite annoying if 50 things happen and you receive 50 different emails. So Roboflow can bundle the result for you in a nice mail, so that, for instance, every hour, every day, every week, whatever, you receive one mail containing all the information about what happened or what information you are interested in. So bundled notification. And then we come to the most important part of any workflow, and that is that you can add any actions to there, to a script, this workflow performs a query, for instance, on a catalog. It finds records, and then for each record it's going to do something with it. And this example is a workflow that stores the file of a record in the memory of Roboflow, and then you can pick up the part of that file. You can say, I want the folder path, and then it creates that path, and finally it performs an action storing the file in that target folder. So that's just a very simple example. You have more than 100 different instructions, actions that can be performed, and they're grouped by conditionals. So you can do if tests, you can perform queries on a catalog or other catalog actions, do category actions, you can use the files of a record, you can work with record table fields, with records, you can use Cumulus workflow stuff to interact with. You can do file folder. Notification can mean that you can use email, but you can also call URLs. So you can even monitor your own Cumulus website and see if it is still alive, if it's responding, or you can just send information to other websites, calling web services, etc. You can interact with SQL databases, table fields, or in-memory tables. You can do manipulation on text like substrings and left and right and upper and etc. So you have many functionalities, and you can just add them. So it's like a programming language. You have full control over what it does. It offers basic functionalities, and you can add whatever you need. So you are not limited to a basic set of copy here and the file name will be that. No, you have full control. And it's accessible throughout the web interface, and at any point you can access the logs of what it has been doing, or you can download the log files from previous days. And so, as I said, Roboflow offers you full control to automate the backend of your Cumulus installation. So thank you for joining this training movie. As I mentioned before, there are on YouTube many other training movies, and here is an explanation of what all these different training movies are actually doing. This document can be obtained from the Cumulus community. Just drop me a mail and or text me, send me a post in the community, and I will provide you with that file. So thank you for joining, and see you in a training movie.